Warning, this episode contains mild to heavy explicit spoilers. Listen at your own risk.
Reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is The Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
A young man whose self-restraint and kindness focuses his energy in the world of boxing. Gun Woo, played by Woo Do-hwan, lives with his mother who is barely getting by paying the rent as the sole parent running a cafe. This is the year 2020 when the plague has spread across the continents. Gun Woo's discipline and mild-mannered nature finds him besting his opponents easily to win a cash prize at a local exhibition. That, of course, being the moment he meets his potential rival Woo Jin, played by Lee Sang-yi, a hot-headed and arrogant guy that daydreams of besting the goody two-shoes Gun Woo. As stated, though, Gun Woo is the victor and is such a nice young fellow, he easily breaks down Woo Jin's abrasive front. The two are ex-Marines, so they bond over some grilled beef and instantly become BFFs. A side note, if you've never tried Korean food, do so now. The free appetizers of kimchi and the incredible taste of galbi-gi is otherworldly. Anyways, Gun Woo's mom's floundering cafe is cause for concern since many of these businesses are going under due to the restrictions and general fear of the world. She signs a contract unknowingly run by a loan shark company led by the evil Kim Young-gil, played by Park Sung-woong. When the villainous corporation begins to use their less-than-friendly extortioner practices, Gun Woo and Woo Jin team up to knock the holy hell out of each and every scumbag coming their way. This, of course, is the main focus of Bloodhounds, written and directed by Joo-hwan Kim. Rounding out the cast is Jun Ho-ha as President Choi, the Yang to Mi Young-gil's Yin, a benevolent loan shark, or maybe a lone dolphin who actually helps people with money problems, looking to wipe clean the dirty taste left in his mouth of his old profession as a loan shark. He is accompanied by Kim Hyun-ju, played by Kim Se-ron, an adopted daughter of one of his ill-fated acquaintances. Although Kim Hyun is an incredibly important character in the series, you will find virtually nothing about her on official websites because the young actress got into a lot of legal troubles, and in Korea, they don't play that game. So let's list the good of Bloodhounds. If you've ever played a side-scrolling beat-em-up like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, Turtles in Time, Double Dragon, or The Simpsons Arcade, or for the new kids, Streets of Rage 4 and Shredder's Revenge, this series essentially scratches the itch of adapting a video game that does not exist. As our duo finds themselves quickly engrossed in combating the nefarious ne'er-do-wells that threaten them financially and physically, a crisp and beautiful ballet of battle sequences occur. The usually cut-and-paste action scenes of other films and shows do not compare to the wonderfully choreographed violence Bloodhounds produces. The simple and direct way the two Woos use their almost robot-like boxing skills is impressive in movement and action. It's a unique take on the one or two on many as the leads to pummel the masses, but never do they come away unscathed. Since this is Korea, the absence of guns also gives the spectacle a more pure approach to fisticuffs. Both leads are balletic and clean in their physicality. Even towering henchman In Byum, played by Tae-won-suk, is deftly used as a monstrous force. The villains of the show, besides the titular Bloodhounds, a nickname essentially for knifemen or henchmen, are all equally scummy and hateable, from the cowardly Kim Jun-min, played by Jo Wan-ki, and the conniving Jang Do, played by Han Soo-ho. The lead villain, of course, Kim Young, with his handsome and evil smile, places him in company with some of the best antagonists in film and television. The bad guys are simply greedy, and bad in their motivations. Just bad. Pretty much a step on others as the plague ransacks the country. Are they lacking in depth? Sure. But the selling of this show is to see the two Woos beat the crap out of them. The only real character work is through the protagonists, President Choi, the extremely nice to a fault good guy, a leopard trying to change his spots as the male parental figure for essentially every single good guy in the show. His niceness is coming back to bite him after initially letting Young-gil get away for crippling him. Even his Bloodhounds, a sashimi chef knife master Hwang, played by Lee Hae-young, and a motorcycling Korean Tom Cruise cool guy Lee Do, played by Roo So-young, are the invincible to a point no-nonsense good guys you want on your side. Choi's Alfred, Oh In-myuk, played by Min Kyung-jin, is a reliable right-hand man. All the good guys are very nice and sweet people with just a shade of darkness to give them all edges. Now getting into Kim Hyun, the most notable female character in this mostly boys club action drama, she's the rougher on the edges young adoptee of Choi, who gives our leads grief most of the time until she realizes they are the real deal when Choi puts them to work protecting her. Kim Hyun is understandably overprotective of herself and Choi due to her past, and it was nice to see her grow to work with the two Woos, and unfortunately being written out of the final 2 episodes due to her real-life shenanigans. It gives a weird tonal shift to the finale of the series, and yet oddly fitting, where a character simply vanishes from a show, but it didn't feel completely like she is ripped out of the series. As a viewer, I yearned to see her have a catharsis due to her enemies being destroyed. It surely affected the show in her Poochie-like exit, because we were all deprived from a fully emotional send-off for the entire crew. Not everyone was united. And as a Korean series, I knew going in there had to be some sort of devastating plot twist. It does happen as expected. Like Squid Games or any other television series or film from Korea, do not be overly attached to anyone. I watched thinking that the show was affixed to this sort of syndicated TV series feel, where all the good guys simply vanquish their enemy of the week, but that's not the case. The villains are truly bad dudes, and with joy show why they are despicable. Once that hat drops and the violence on their end comes without pulling punches. That's mainly one of the things that is frustrating but admirable about the heroes. The two Woos are willing to beat their enemies senseless but will not cross the line of killing. Unlike Choi's Knifemen, they prescribe to a boxer's heart, the love of the sport, and not the full destruction of someone else and the cost of their soul. The bromance between the two leads is nice and natural to the show, and you want to see these friends survive, be heroes, and do well in their lives. Even with a time jump that radically alters the show in its final episodes, we see the bonded strength of the two even more so. Of course, because the show is Korean, everyone is handsome, even the ugly people are handsome. There is a montage of the two Woos working out shirtless where I couldn't even walk past a mirror without looking at disgust at my reflection. The acting is all great, even though a bit over the top and cartoonish, it fits well for this genre piece. Like I say, my minor faults with the show is not on a technical level, but more about character choices. As in, one villain essentially gets a nice payout and gets away with things, and the boxer's heart sparing the lives of some of the more loathsome of the enemies. Two other characters in the show are blackmailed Hongmin, played by Choi Soi-won, who is the driving force of Myung-gil's eventual downfall, and his police officer cousin Choi Young-jun, played by Min Gang-young, whose actions directly lead to some awful things, and he's never confronted about it, never has any emotions about his actions, leading to the deaths of heroes and even an unborn child. Like nothing. He's even sort of comical in the series, and that was like, give the actor something to work with. I enjoyed the show, though very clearly because of the loss of the actress Kim Se-run, the final 2 episodes feel afloat in the weirdness of a writer cleaning up an actor's messes. The introduction of a young plucky female archer granddaughter, Oh Da-min, played by Jung Da-yoon, is nice. It's sort of a writing cleanup that is still late in the game, where you're like, oh, she's cool, but wait, we've only got her for 2 episodes, that's it? She's like a special edition party member you can use for a role-playing game on the final campaign. The ending is bittersweet and fight heavy, and I think it has a pretty satisfying finale. Like I say, the final 2 shows are still good, but it's C to the show's regular A-B status in storytelling. They knew exactly where to end an episode and made the show actually binge-watchable. 8 out of 10 learning to slit throats via motorcycle in a span of hours. This has been The Horror Deconstruction.